In the aftermath of the verdict of the Trayvon Martin killing, the YW wanted to do something. We saw the verdict as a teachable moment. Since that time, there have been lots of teachable moments. On Friday, the U.S. Department of Education released a report finding a widespread pattern of inequality along racial lines in our nation's school system. The most troubling statistic from that data was that even as early as preschool, Black students face harsher discipline than other students. While Black children make up 18% of preschool enrollment, close to half of all preschool children who are suspended are African American. What I think of as an organization that provides early childhood education, we must ask ourselves, what could pre-K students possibly be suspended for? There's something much more going on here than meets the eye.
I was reviewing a study today, the Texas study, before I came here so I could ask Mayo some very intelligent questions. And it just kept sticking out in my head. It's discretionary. But it's not discretionary because the data shows it's Black and brown children who are being excluded from the primary education. Tell me if that's not segregation.
The report also noted that even as boys receive more than 2/3 of these suspensions, Black girls are suspended at higher rates than girls of any other race, or most boys of any other race. Cultural competency. It really has to be high on the agenda in terms of professional development. You know, we have just a myriad of students coming in from different backgrounds in our school systems. It's just an innocent understanding of just not being culturally competent to deal with some of these issues. And so I think that the schools must pay more attention to that. They have to understand the population, the student population that's coming into the schools.
New York is one of only 2 states that handles youth who are over 15 in the adult criminal system. So for example, this means that if your 16-year-old gets arrested in New York, they don't have to notify you as a parent. If the 16-year-old is being interrogated by police, they don't have to have you present even as a parent. And if your child is actually incarcerated, they may end up in an adult prison sleeping in the same room with an adult where they are much greater risk of violence and sexual assault. The same punitive approach that's in the criminal justice system has seeped into our schools under the name, largely under the name of zero tolerance. These are the 4 areas that are most frequently identified. Harsh disciplinary policies, particularly out-of-school suspensions, underinvestment in schools, and that impact of underinvestment on teaching and engagement of students. The third issue most commonly noted about the school-to-prison pipeline are the prison-like school environments. Particularly when schools use police in lieu of school security staff, the rates of suspension and arrest spike dramatically. And the fourth area is that there are now educational incentives to push out children who are struggling academically. And so if schools feel like they have to raise test scores, sometimes it's easier to push kids out into a GED program than it is to raise their scores if they're really having behavioral problems or falling behind academically. African American students are far more likely than their white peers to be suspended or expelled for the same conduct. They weren't doing anything worse. Children are suspended not because of the type or severity of their crime. They are suspended because of the color of their skin, because of their special education status, because of the school they go to, and because they have been suspended before. So zero tolerance, instead of making schools safer, is harming children. And in fact, schools that suspend children more frequently do not have any better academic performance than similar schools who don't suspend kids.